Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You are here with Austin from Ohio. And as many of you probably know, I am now suspended again on my main channel, which is not fun for me at all. I was very irate when I woke up and I seen the thing that pops up as soon as you open the YouTube app. It's a huge thing that comes up and it's like, you violated community guidelines. And I was so irate the first second I wake up that I didn't even have my coffee yet. And I jumped out of bed and I was already just mad and awake. And well, I was kind of thankful for it because I was awake and I was like, oh, okay, this might not be too bad. I wasn't as mad as I was during the last one. Of course, because I have a backup channel, which you are watching this on. And today I'm going to go through some couple things that were in the video last night, minus what I believe caused the communists over at YouTube. And I know you people are listening, and that's exactly what you are. No good, dirty, communist, truth suppressing, speech suppressing lowlifes. That's all I have to say to you. But I have some things for you today that are recovered from last night, minus, of course, the things that I believe are responsible for the suspension or the video getting taken down. And I got like a million comments. People were like, "Oh, your video already got taken down, this and that." And I don't know what time, because it uploaded. I looked at it and saw that it was uploaded and I went right to bed. I woke up and it was gone. And I usually watch my videos once I post them, because I don't watch them before I post them, which people tell me is a bad thing. But like I said before, I don't plan these. I just find some things, jump right into it, because if you plan it, it's not as real as you want it to be. But this first one that I have for you, a couple things that I have to say about this one first. One, on record, 3 different videos I told you that this exact thing was going to happen. An uptick in events. Many of you remember me talking about that. And then I said, right before they start going with it, you're going to see one of the big ones. And guess what? That is exactly what happened here. Also, I want to clarify, when I talk about these things, I'm not saying that this situation did not happen, because it most definitely did. I believe this to be a real situation. People actually died. And actually, 8 people were killed. And we will take 8 seconds right now of silence to commemorate these people that died. And may God take them in his arms, welcome them into the kingdom of heaven. And we shall take our 8 seconds. Okay. I pray for the people that were killed. One of them was a new mother. That is a terrible thing. Terrible, terrible, terrible thing. 8 people in total. That's, many people might look at this because of the desensitization in our society today, and they would be like, oh, 8 people, that's not too bad. It's only 8. One person is bad. That is a living soul. These are 8 souls that had to leave this world early and be welcomed by the Lord early because of, well, what I'm about to talk about right now. So we pray for these people. Father, take these people in your arms, welcome them to your kingdom, and allow them to walk on the streets of gold, and may they never hurt or suffer ever again, and watch over their families as they live down here still without their family members. Now, we are going to dig into this one, and I already spotted a couple things that led me to believe that the elites, of course, are behind this because they always have to sign it. They always have to put their little signature on it, as always. Okay, so if you didn't already start reading, new mom, Army vet, among 8 killed in Georgia spa shootings. A new mother and an Army veteran who installed security systems are among 8 people killed by a gunman who opened fire at 3 massage parlors in the Atlanta area. Okay, well, you already got your 3 right there. Wait till you see these other ones. Flowers and signs are displayed at a makeshift memorial outside of the Gold Spa in Atlanta, Wednesday, March 17, 2021. Police in the Atlanta suburb of Gwinnett County say they've begun extra patrols in and around Asian businesses there following the shooting at 3 massage parlors in the area that killed 8, most of them women of Asian descent. Okay, let's take a look at something here. 3 massage parlors. So you got March, which is the 3rd month, 17th, 2021. What's 7 plus 1? 8. Okay, now add the 2 in 2021, 10. Add the other 2, 12. Add the 1, 13. There's your 13 families. One was a new mother taking a rare break from caring for her baby girl. Another was an Army veteran who installed security systems in the Atlanta area. They were among 8 people killed Tuesday in shootings at 3 Metro Atlanta massage parlors. Police have charged a 21-year-old with the slayings. There's another 3, 21. 2 plus 1. 7 of the slain were women, and 6 of them were Asian descent. 7 plus 6, 13. Authorities have not released all of the victims' names, but did identify 33-year-old Delana Ashley Yuan, 54-year-old Paul Andre Michaels, 44-year-old Da Yu Fang, and 49-year-old Xiao Ji Tan, who owned one of the massage businesses. And then they do this. Here's a look at some of those who died in the deadliest mass shootings in the U.S. since 2019. And then they just run through the stories of these people that were killed. This is the one from today. It was planned as a day for Yuan to relax. Yuan and her husband arranged for someone to care for their 8-month-old daughter while they headed to Young's Asian massage parlor. Family members said the couple were first-time customers eager for a chance to unwind. They were in separate rooms inside the spa when the gunman opened fire. Yuan was killed. Her husband escaped unharmed. They're innocent. They did nothing wrong, Yuan's weeping mother, Margaret Rushing, told WAGA-TV. I just don't understand why he took my daughter. Yuan's husband could hear the gunfire inside the spa but was helpless to save his wife, said Dana Toole, Yuan's sister. He's taking it hard, Toole said. When you're in a room and gunshots are flying, what do you do? And you got Paul Andre Michaels. He's the one who installed security systems, and he was in the Army. And look, he was fatally shot at Young's Asian massage parlor along with 3 others. But they go through some of these ones here, and they just talk about, this stuff because what they're trying to do. And I don't mean, when I talk about these things, it kind of gets hard because I don't want people to think that I am, diminishing the people or the subject just because I'm talking about these things. No, my heart goes out to these people that died, that were killed by this. Absolutely, it is a terrible, terrible, terrible thing. Every time I hear of somebody who was killed, terrible. But there's an agenda to this, and the agenda is disarmament. in which a lot more people will be killed if we allow that to happen. And that brings me to the next one that I wanted to show you right now. And here we are at Yahoo News. And who couldn't see this coming? And this was from Business Insider. Obama says the Atlanta shooting showed the need to finally bring in, quote, common sense gun control laws. Former U.S. President Barack Obama speaks at a Biden-Harris drive in rally in Orlando, Florida on October 27, 2020. That's where that picture was taken. Former President Barack Obama said on Wednesday the U.S. needed to introduce common sense gun safety laws. It comes after a gunman fatally shot 8 people in Atlanta area shooting this week. Obama said gun control laws would help root out the pervasive patterns of hatred and violence in our society. President Joe Biden is also pushing for reforms to gun control. Well, of course, because we're right in the middle of the Great Reset. They need to disarm the American people. They can't take the chance of losing power, which they would in a heartbeat. It wouldn't even take 30 minutes if our brothers and sisters in the United States, and you know what, also, if Americans would be in solidarity and stand up to this system, to this new world order, the world would follow suit. Absolutely. Absolutely. No matter how bad they demonize us in other parts of the world, and people that are from other countries are on this channel, and I want to ask you guys personally, tell me about, like in the comments below, please tell me about what your news says about Americans and what most people believe about Americans in your country. And I guarantee that it is not a good thing. You'll probably hear something about how we're all barbaric, uneducated, fat, lazy, redneck slobs who just murder each other and eat fried chicken all day and drink beer and bomb people. And that is absolutely untrue. Of course, there's people like that in our society, but it is no way what defines us as a people in general. Take myself, for example. I'm an American born and raised. 100%. I love this country. I love freedom. I love my fellow man. But I am not any of those things. I also own guns. And I never, ever thought about hurting anybody at all whatsoever. I was just having a conversation today at work about if somebody broke into my... Oh, hold on. Time out. That's a nice chair. I'm not even going to lie. Look at that chair, guys. Look at $99. Wayfair. Never mind. That is a nice chair, though. Look at that. I bet that's so comfortable. Anyway, I was having a conversation at work today, and I was telling the people, and I was like, if somebody broke into my house, if they were unarmed and they just wanted to steal some stuff or whatever, I would, of course, not let them take my stuff, but I wouldn't just come out and shoot them. Of course not. I would never do that. I would say, hey, you have 10 seconds to get out of my house, and I will call the cops, and I won't shoot you. But if that 10 seconds is up and you're not gone, I'm still going to call the cops, but it's going to be a lot worse for you. I would definitely give somebody a chance even though they broke into my house. Yes, probably stupid. I don't know what else I would do because I don't have it in me. I don't have it in me at all. Now, if somebody broke into my house and I saw that they were armed with a firearm, I am taking no chances at all. If you catch my drift. But we all know the Second Amendment isn't about people breaking into your house or if you like to hunt or target shoot. No, it is about maintaining a status of independence from a tyrannical government should a government become tyrannical, which ours has for a very long time now. Very, very long time. far before I was alive, far before anyone else was alive. Actually, I just thought of something in my when I was talking about people's age, and I hope she doesn't take this the wrong way, but Carol again told people on her channel about me being suspended. Carol, you did not have to do that, but thank you very much. It's much appreciated. It is much appreciated in this time. You really didn't have to do that because what I did was I loaded up your video because I listened to it while I'm in the shower. So I loaded it up and I'm sitting there and I'm getting ready to brush my teeth and shave and stuff, and all I hear is my name and my channel, and I'm like, oh, Carol's telling people about me being suspended. But then I felt bad because I was like, she doesn't have to keep doing that if she doesn't want to. Like, but I understand you obviously wanted to because you wouldn't have done it. But thank you, Carol. I really appreciate that. And I've always looked up to you. I've been watching you for a very long time. Literally since, like, I discovered you in, like, 2014. Maybe earlier than that. And ever since then, I have been a hardcore subscriber. I subscribe to your main, your backup, your third backup, your library, all that. And you are great, and we need more like you. Anyway, the agenda is to disarm the American people before an all-powerful one-world government. And if they do this, they have to focus on the United States because, well, we have a substantial amount. It's not even close. We have hundreds and hundreds of millions of guns that they know of. I would be willing to bet that it's almost in the billions. Because there's a lot of guns that are going around out there that are just not... people don't even know about them because they're just out there and, of course, not registered or anything like that. And the next country that's close to us, I forget which country it is, but I believe it's like they have like 90 million or 60 million. I'm not sure. I might have this backwards. Maybe it's 60. But it's not even close. That's why they have to focus on us. Because it wouldn't even take a fourth of the American people to stand up and say, listen, you're not going to divide us anymore by race. You're not going to divide us by gender. You're not even going to divide us by football teams or anything like that. We are in solidarity with our brothers and sisters for freedom. And you are going to resign and be tried for treason, and if found guilty, charged with the penalty of treason. And if not, then we're going to throw you out. And you watch how fast. I remember a quote. George H.W. Bush. I should have pulled it up, but I never know what I'm going to talk about because I just start talking. George H.W. Bush. And he said, if the American people knew what we have done, there would be a revolution by morning. And he said that at like 7 p.m. Because they sold us out to the United Nations. And they're trying to bring in the New World Order. While telling us that the land of the free, the home of the brave, guys. This is the freest country in the world, and you can do anything you want except collect rainwater. Grow your own food without a permit. Go fishing without a permit. Travel in your own property on our shared property without permission. Speak without permission. Own defense mechanisms without permission. Oh, what else? Live in your house without permission. There's so many things. Oh, go on this land without permission by penalty of $50,000. The one up on the highway here says $500,000 if you set foot on it because it's state protected land. Yeah, that's why they did the blasting for the the pipelines and stuff. They did the blasting up there. They destroyed all the trees. You could see the trees up on the hill, but if you go like up that hill, the land flattens out and it's nothing but just they destroyed everything. And you can thank the Bureau of Land Management for that. And all these different communist agencies that they have out there that literally think about that. You're a free human being. You were born here through no fault of your own on the earth as equals to all other people. We're all equals. And the sad part is they even acknowledge that, the people in power. They acknowledge that because we're human beings, of course. But you're born here on this land that God gave us, this beautiful earth, but you need permission to go on this part of the land. And here pretty soon, you ain't going to be allowed to live outside of one of their smart cities. Yes. Now, let's move on because I have a couple things that I want to get to. I could talk about this stuff all day, but the problem is, the problem is they're trying to disarm and the people before an all-powerful world government. But what I have to say is, in short, never, ever give up your guns. Don't never, ever give up your guns. Ever. We need to start educating people again and say, hey, people have firearms, but guess what? They have them for personal defense. Or, well, in my case, to collect dust. That's exactly what they're doing. I haven't even touched them in a while. It's crazy. I mean, my 9mm, I do. I carry that one. But, yep, that's how that goes. But yes, that is the moral of this story. Let's move on. And, of course, here we are, these articles from these tabloids, or this is a newspaper, I believe. New York Intelligencer. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is a newspaper. If there's anybody out there in New York, can you let me know about that, please? It does make a difference. Oh, and yes, not one more. But could the Atlanta spa shootings break Congress's gun control impasse? This picture right here, at the bottom it says, unfortunately, there's always one more. When the U.S. House passed 2 measures tightening gun sale background checks in early March, its proponents obviously didn't know we'd soon be dealing with a horrific series of fatal shootings in Atlanta area spas that left 8 people dead, including 6 Asian women. I would say that they had advanced knowledge of that. I'm sure it'll come out that the shooter was on psychiatric drugs, like Prozac or something like that. And I'm sure that it will come out just like all the other ones because, well, right now I believe, I don't have anything to back it up. It's just my personal belief right now. I will, though, when they come out with it, because they always do. They always tell you what's going on. This guy was definitely MK Ultra. We know about it. We know how it works. But this is sad, this picture actually, because this person is unaware what it actually means to disarm a population. Anyway, but Democrats, having just won control of both houses of Congress and the presidency, were eager to launch another push to get rudimentary gun safety legislation passed obdurate Senate Republicans, or at least embarrass the GOP in the eyes of the general public, which strongly supports such legislation. I don't think it's that. They work in concert together, but they keep the people divided and arguing over whatever while they ran this stuff through. As NPR reported, the two bills aimed at different problems with the current background check procedure. The gun show loophole. There is no gun show loophole, which exempts firearms obtained at private sales, and the Charleston loophole. Okay, wait, time out. They're calling it a loophole that that people don't get background checked for private transfers. If I sell you something, it is nobody's business, especially not the U.S. government. Well, we'll just call it the conglomerate of the New World Order, because that's what it is. The Charleston loophole, named for the 2015 gun massacre in that city, in which a white supremacist, they have to bring this up, of course, because it always has to be about the race, because division, always keep the people divided so they don't come together. If they come together, we're screwed. That's how they think. It's so easy. Well, in which a white supremacist killed 9 black churchgoers, which provide only a brief review period for background check findings. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer has indicated he would give such legislation a vote, which typically Mitch McConnell would not. The problem remains, so long as the filibuster stays in place, there is no reasonable hope that enough Republicans will support any firearms bill, unless it's somehow blessed by the gun lobby as pro Second Amendment. And the gun lobby, despite the National Rifle Association's internal problems, claims we need more, not fewer, protections for, I don't even want to say that word, there's no such thing as gun rights. It's not gun rights. If they call it that, then it becomes this. All of this. It becomes a government issue that they get to talk about and they get to take action on. And the gun lobby and the NRA has compromised, quote, on every infringement, because they're there to soften the blow. They're there to just make you feel like it's all right. National Rifle Association is not for people's God-given rights. And it is your God-given right to protect the life that you were given by God only through your parents. Also, let me take this time to say, I don't usually watch like movies and stuff, but my wife and I, we watched over the past couple days, we watched every single Hunger Games movie. And let me tell you something. If you've never seen them, go watch them. First of all, the place, it's called Panem, the country. If you look it up, actually, you know what? I'm going to bring it up real quick before I come back to this. So let me just bring that up real quick. Sorry, I had to light my cancer stick here. Let me bring that up while I'm talking about this real quick. This is map of Panem from the Hunger Games. And what do you notice about this? What do you notice about this map? It should be extremely obvious unless you're blind or something. This is the United States. And guess what? They're developed into regions. Look at this one. What's your favorite district? And let's see how many there are. I think there's 13. Yeah, 13. Oh, it kind of looks like the FEMA regions to me. But yes, the map of Panem from Hunger Games is the United States. I believe it is a future United States, of course. You should watch that movie. All of them. 1, they're actually pretty good. 2, filled with symbolism and predictions, you could say, for what is going on. The policing are even called peacekeepers, like UN peacekeepers. And there's places in like nature where they're not allowed to go. They're only allowed within their district. That's it. Total tyranny. Total tyranny. But yes, go watch it because it will show you exactly one aspect of the New World Order, I believe. Just because it's just how it is. Okay, now take a good look at that map, right? Now let's bring up the FEMA regions. Oh, do you see any similarities here? Let's look at this one. Do you see any similarities here, folks? I'm in Region 5. What region are you in? Let's just go ahead and zoom in on this a little bit. This is the FEMA regions from, this isn't from the movie, this is real life. You got Region 1, 2, 3, of course, 4, down here, Florida and the Carolinas and whatnot. 5, which is the Midwest. It's where yours truly lives. Then you got 6, which is Texas, whatnot. 7, which is like the middle of the country. Then you got 8, 9, and then 10 in Oregon, Washington State. And part of Region 9 is Hawaii, and 10 is Alaska. They already got it mapped out, guys. It's already ready to go. But we can go back to what I was doing. I don't even have to pause to do whatever. Let's go back here. But yeah, you guys should watch it because there's a lot of predictive programming in there. A lot of symbolism. Insane. It's just crazy. Anyway. Okay, I'm still recording. The last time legislation aimed at the gun show loophole made it to the Senate floor, in a 2015 compromise proposal supported by Joe Manchin and Pat Toomey, with a, quote, family friend exception for gun sales, it won only 4 Republican votes, counting Toomey's despite overwhelming bipartisan public support. All this stuff doesn't even matter. It just gives people a sense of hope because we already seen that Republicans already backed the one bills because they work in concert against us. People still think the left-right is real. It's a process called the Hegelian dialectic, and they repeat it over and over again. Problem, reaction, solution. Problem, shootings. Reaction, calls for gun confiscation eventually. Solution, they wanted in the first place. How about disarming the entire country and world? You want a better idea of how they're going to achieve that and why? Go look up the United Nations types of disarmament, download the PDF off the UN's website, and go through it. We actually might go through it on here. I might actually do that. But it talks about, of course, nuclear. It talks about, I hope this rain isn't bothering you guys. Like, I hope it's not, like, messing up my video because it's raining pretty heavily here. And I'm pretty sure that there's like flood watches or warnings in my area because the river's up and all the creeks are up. And yes, I said crick instead of creek because I'm from Ohio and that's what we say. Like pop in place of soda. Just little things that we say here and there. But yeah, if you go through the types of disarmament, and then it talks about conventional weapons, which is your rifle, your handgun. So we might go through it on here, but you should definitely take a look at that in your own time. It's going to keep going, guys. They're going to keep doing this. Let me go ahead and bring up something else real quick here. This was in the video last night, and of course it got taken down. You all know that. I really wish it didn't because This is gold information. And this is the United Nations Trust Fund for Human Security. Well, and you can already see right there, there's your Illuminati all-seeing eye pyramid. Freedom from want, freedom from fear, freedom to live in dignity. But this caught my eye because I was messing around the UN's website, and I came across, you can see where it says welcome to the United Nations, un.org/human security, whatever. And I come across this and I'm start reading it and I'm like, whoa, hold on. Hold your horses. Let's read some of this. And of course, it comes up, Agenda 2030, echoing human security principles. The 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development emphasizes a world free of poverty, hunger, disease, and want, free of fear and violence, with equitable and universal access to quality education, healthcare, social protection, to safe drinking water and sanitation, where food is sufficient, safe, affordable, and nutritious, where habits are safe, resilient, and sustainable, and where there is a universal access to affordable, reliable, and sustainable energy. Okay, let me start by saying, I feel like a broken record because I said this last night. Imperfect men could never, ever, ever create something perfect. We are not here to do that. We cannot do that. We are all imperfect. So all this and all these buzzwords and all this utopia they're trying to build and to get people to accept is exactly the translations that we went through on this channel. We went through those Agenda 2030 translations. Does that really sound like something you guys want to live under? And you can see right here who sponsored it. So, okay. But none of this exists, so I'm just wasting my breath because this is all conjecture. Right? It calls for development strategies that result in resilient societies where people are safe from chronic threats such as abject poverty, hunger, disease, violence, and repression, and protected from sudden and hurtful disruptions in their daily lives. Okay, where do all these sudden and hurtful disruptions in our daily lives come from? They come from these guys, right? Right. It is nobody's job but yourself to keep you safe. Government is not there to keep you safe. Government is there, the federal government is there to make sure that we stay free. That's it. And to deal with foreign wars, things like that, foreign affairs. Everything else is left up to the states. Well, the federal government's also, the Congress is supposed to issue currency, but we all know what happened with that. That's pretty much it. Everything else is up to the states, and what's not labeled in the Constitution is left up to us. But all they're supposed to do is to make sure that this land stays free. And mankind could never, ever stop any of this. One, because they create half these problems. Let's see. They want to create societies where people are safe from chronic threats such as abject poverty. They did that. Hunger. They definitely did that. Disease. We already know. Violence and repression. Well, let's see. And we already went over the protected from sudden hurtful disruptions in daily lives. Making a lasting impact and integrated approach for the realization of Agenda 2030. To achieve its transformative promise, Agenda 2030 calls for a new approach to address the interconnectivity of today's challenges. To this end, human security provides an effective analytical lens, programming framework, initiatives applying the approach engage closely with the people to uncover their specific needs and vulnerabilities and advance policies, actions based on their priorities. This results in development that is more inclusive and sustainable. Okay, let's dissect this. Agenda 2030 calls for a new approach to the interconnectivity of today's challenges. Yeah, a new approach, guys. We're so interconnected, why not just have a one world government? And this part's weird. Human security provides an effective analytical lens and programming framework. Okay. Initiatives applying the approach engage closely with people to uncover their specific needs and vulnerabilities and advance policies and actions based on their priorities. So basically what this is saying is that these initiatives are watching and engaging closely with us to uncover our needs and vulnerabilities so they can advance their policies and they can advance their world government. That's literally what I'm reading right now, and it's not even that hard to see. I could show this to my 2-year-old nephew, be like, hey, buddy, check this out. And he'd be like, Uncle, that's world government. By being comprehensive and by drawing on the expertise of a wide range of actors, the application of human security ensures coherence, eliminates duplication, and advances integrated solutions that result in more effective and tangible improvements in the daily lives of people. That pretty much speaks for itself. By being comprehensive and drawing on the expertise of a wide range of actors, funny how they use that, the application of human security ensures coherence, eliminates duplication, and advances world government. With its core vision to achieve freedom from fear, want, and indignity. Yes, because you will never have to fear or want again. The new world government is here to provide everything for you. We only require that you get on your knees and bow to us. Human beings. Hello? We like to give ourselves fancy titles, and we like to, put some of us higher in our weird systems that we create than others. But at the end of the day, if I cut you and you cut me, we're both still going to bleed. Whether it be a homeless person or Jeff Bezos, you're still going to bleed. Anyway, we'll move on and whatnot. Okay, core to achieve freedom, fear, want, dignity, human security approach, challenge, blah, blah, blah. Oh yeah. The human security approach addresses challenges stemming from and resulting in persistent conflicts, them, social exclusion and abject poverty, them, in emphasizing the triangular. Oh, of course it's triangular. Why wouldn't it be? Why couldn't it be rectangular or octangular? Quintangular? No, it's got to be triangular. Relationship between peace and security. For when they say peace and safety, sudden destruction shall come upon them. Development and human rights. It highlights the essential connections between these variables and helps accelerate the drive toward world government. I'm just going to start saying world government in place of all these weird buzzwords because I'm tired of just reading them over and over again. Resilient, sustainable, cohesive, inclusive. What else do they got? Advancing implementation of Agenda 2030. This is actually the last goal. Strengthen the means of implementation for Agenda 2030. Based on a wealth of experience in 90 countries, including regional initiatives, programs supported by the UNTFHS, have made significant contributions to more comprehensive, context-specific, and prevention-oriented initiatives to achieve world government. See how that works? These programs employ integrated strategies that respond to specific situations of human insecurity, strengthen social harmony, and are oriented towards the prevention of crises and the promotion of long-term development. Partnerships with national and local authorities, as well as communities, are integral to program and project design and implementation. The coupling of protection and empowerment measures further ensures local ownership and sustainability. And the resources, you can go to Agenda 2030, Human Security, whatever. But guys, this is it right here. They're doing it right under our nose. Like a thief in the night. They're doing it right under our nose. You know what we're doing? Arguing and paying attention to matters of no real importance. That makes me incredibly sad, to be honest. It makes me sad to see, like, when I first woke up, oh man, I woke up a long time ago. I mean, I remember being in 3rd grade and getting letters written home to my parents because we were talking about, like, the Kennedy assassination or something. And I'd be like, yeah, you do realize that Lee Harvey Oswald did not kill President Kennedy and say things like that. And then, you know, in like middle school, I would get letters written home, get detention for stating facts of 9/11. I remember one time I asked my physics teacher in high school, I was like, oh, sir, I'm not going to say his name. I was like, you're a physics major, right? You went to college and majored in physics and chemistry and all that stuff, right? And he was like, oh, yeah, I know. I've got many degrees and this and that. I'm like, okay, well, can you answer one simple question for me? And I was like, how hot does jet fuel usually burn? And he was like, oh, around 1800 degrees Fahrenheit. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, when does steel become malleable? And he was like, oh, well, probably around 3,200 degrees Fahrenheit it'll become malleable. I'm like, okay, well, how can jet fuel melt steel beams that brought down the Twin Towers? And he actually just laughed and just told me that I was wrong. Because he's obviously a victim of the social engineering. But if you wanted to go to this page here and navigate, you can go to the UN home and all this stuff and whatever. But this stuff is terrifying. It really is terrifying. And we really got to do something. We really have to start talking to our neighbors, actually, not texting them. People nowadays are texting people at the dinner table that are right across from them. I've seen it with my own eyes. And it's very sad. It's very, 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 very sad. And I can't believe we got to this point in time. That's what I was going to say. Not when I first woke up. It was like probably around the time that I was in middle school or high school. I really started noticing people's behaviors changing from what they were. Mostly in part due to the rise in smartphones. Because right on like when I got into high school, I think it was my freshman year, because I graduated in 2012. So my freshman year was like 2008, 2009. I remember that people had the iPods, the smart iPods. And everybody wanted one. And by the time I was a sophomore or junior, everybody had the newest smartphone. Everybody was glued to it. I can't stand that. If I'm not compiling or making videos or talking to somebody on the phone, I'm not even on it. I used to scroll through Facebook a lot just to like read stuff and see what people were saying, but I pretty much gave a lot of that up. But people's behaviors really started to change once these things were given out to the population. And I remember because people would stop looking each other in the eye. They would talk to the ground if you're having a conversation with them. It's worse now. You go talk to somebody, nobody will make eye contact with you. The eyes are the window to the soul. You could tell how a man is feeling by looking into his eyes. You could tell a lot about a person by looking into their eyes. Also, the reason that, well, they put all the books and stuff on the Kindles and all this and that, and there's many reasons why they did that, but one of the main reasons is, okay, there was this study. This is the last thing I'm going to tell you, and then we're going to have to do our prayer because I got to go in. I'll find this study so I could read about it to you guys, but I'm pretty sure it was in Japan, and they had a study where they got 20 people, well, 20 people to read, 40 people to read the same book, and the 20 people would read the paperback book, and then 20 people would read the digital copy. So 20 people had the digital copy and 20 people had the hardback copy. And I'll find it so I can bring it up in the next video so we can actually go through it because it's been a while since I read about it. But this study I believe it was Japan, but it might have been China, I'm not exactly sure. But they were doing a study about information retention and how they thought that originally they thought that there would be hardly any difference in the information retained from reading digital or hardback copy. But after all these people read those books, so 20 people read the digital, 20 people read the paperback, then they had to take they had to write an essay on what they remember about the plot of the book. To their surprise, a lot of people on the digital side would not have even half of the information retained from the people on the paperback side. That's because when you read things off of paper, the paper is real. It's right in front of you. The words are right in front of you. But when you read words on a screen, you're looking at blue light. You're not actually feeling the words and all of that. And it's just a study that they did, and they were actually it was a while ago. Yeah, they were very surprised about that, so they definitely have been using that. And that's why you can go and you could buy one of those Kindles, and you can get like 50,000 books on that thing, and each one of them costs like $2, and you go to buy an actual book, and it costs like $10, $12, because my wife buys books, and she pays a decent amount of money per book. Well, she loves to read, so it's whatever, but she buys actual books. Doesn't go with that Kindle crap at all. But we will stop there for today because I have to go in and get something to eat and whatnot. And so we will do the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not unto temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen.